many teams want how many NFL teams made the playoffs after going 8-8 in a 16-game season? I found this answer out on this website. It's called Stathead, as you can see. This is a sneaky good 7-1 website. You heard me right, 7-1. Because it is a sister site to Pro Sports Reference. And that has formerly 4, but they've added 2 references. They've added college football and basketball, but they also have pro football, basketball, baseball, and hockey, known as the Big 4. But anyway, you can get any of those 7. Pro football, pro basketball, pro baseball, pro hockey, or college basketball or baseball. On the other site, you can't get that on this site, but you can look up on either the Big 4 for any stat you need. And what I was looking for was that question I posed at the top of when I first went on the air. And it was a little disheartening because when I asked myself when I was looking for that criteria about a week ago, it was easy to find with this record finder, but I found out that they are getting rid of that they're going to be getting rid of that pretty soon. And let me log in first. Let me... Okay. Let me log in. Okay, here we go. Now, let me go back into this and show you what I found this morning that was so disheartening. This record finder here, I found out this morning that they will be taking this down on the 19th of June because I would have to go to Team Span Finder to find out that question of which teams made the playoffs after going 8-8. So I decided to do this. I decided to go through that jazz and see if I can dissect that myself, even though to this point there is a way to do that, but it will be taken down in just a few days. Anyway, here's how I do that. Here's how we'll have to do that starting next Monday, a week from Monday. I gotta go all the way down here to wins. May not be in this one. I may have the wrong. Oh, here it is. Wins. And to find that out, now, here's what's so disheartening about that. With that Stathead, they actually have a link that cuts out the past 2 seasons after the league expanded to 17 games, and the period before the league expanded to 16. It's only 16-game season. So you have to really know that period is 1985 to 2020. Okay, so we have that there, and we have regular season, and we're talking about a 16-game season, so let's change this 5 to 16. And we'll move down here. And we have 4 filters to do. I think we've done the first one, but let's see, we want wins. We want exactly 8. That means, and obviously that means that they've lost 8 games, but there's an easy way to figure that one out. That's easy. But we also want another one, and that's ties. In 2 of these seasons, I found out that in 2 of these searches, I found out that they made the playoffs after going 8, 7, and 1. I didn't want that, so I have to go 0 ties. This means it only would count 8, 8, and 0 teams. No 8, 7, and 1. No nothing. Or nothing else. Just 8, 8, and 0. That's the only. We've narrowed it down this far. Now we want one more filter, and that is results. We want to know who made the playoffs. So we're going to find that. And that's called team success. Passing, rushing, totals, penalties, downs, scoring, punting, returns. Might not be in this one. Let's see if it's in another one. I think we have to open up another statistical filter. We're looking for team success. Maybe we didn't. Maybe we're looking in the wrong place. Let me see. This might be it. Nope. There it is. Team success. There it is. We want to know made playoffs. Sorry, I had a hard time finding that. So now we've dissected down to this. The team from 1985 to 2020, teams that went 8, 0, and 0, and we know that that time frame is the time frame where the team was where the that was time frame where the season was exactly 16 games. So or I should say 8-0, and had 8 wins, not necessarily 8-0, but eight had 8 wins out of 16, not necessarily 8-0, but they went 8 wins and no ties. That means they lost 8. So the 8-0. They went 8-0 during a time when there were 16 games in the regular season between 1985 and 2020. The team made the playoffs. That's what we're dissecting. We're asking ourselves, who made the playoffs after going 8-0 in a 16-game season? Sorry to repeat that, but I made a mistake in the beginning there, and I was correcting myself. 8-0 in a 16-game season. And still made the playoffs. So let's find out those results right here. There are 11. And the most recent team to do that, you see all these teams, they had 8 wins and no ties. It doesn't show losses because we know that there were 16 games in the regular season, so that these teams are all 8 wins, 8 losses. And you see that in the final record there. They finished 8-8. And you see in the ones next to it, those teams made the playoffs there. That it dissected down to that. The Stathead filter that made it a little bit easier, the one that they're getting rid of, that actually would tell me that this happened 11 times, and 3, as you can see, won the division. But they all made the playoffs. These were the 11. The stat that I was dissecting before was, if a team went 8-8, show me whether they made the playoffs or not when they were 8-8. That included the teams that did not make the playoffs, but I was counting the ones that did to see if I could find exactly 11. That's the number I needed, and I got it. And they are the 2020 Chicago Bears, the 2011 Denver Broncos, the 2008 San Diego Chargers, the 2006 New York Giants, the 2004 Minnesota Vikings, the 2004 St. Louis Rams, the 1999 Dallas Cowboys, the 1999 Detroit Lions, the 1991 New York Jets, the 1990 New Orleans Saints, and the 1985 Cleveland Browns. Only the 2011 Denver Broncos, 2008 San Diego Chargers, and 1985 Cleveland Browns. Those are the only teams that won the division with that record. But that answered the question there. Name those 11 teams that did that. I need that information for a game that I was wanting to do. I did that. You could see you can see that on my channel. I have those up there. I probably won't. I probably won't put a thing up there, a flag up there for that. I won't put a sign up there, but you can actually see that. That's on a different site. It's a special site that I have, and that will be because that's actually a series I'm doing every Thursday, and that series the schedule might even change. But for right now, it's every Thursday. Now at 6:30. It used to be 8 o'clock. It's now 6:30. Anyway, but here's the great part about this site. Not only can you Stathead, but there's college football, pro football. Like, let's take a look at college basketball. This is a really good site here. This shows you brackets of each women's tournament or men's and women's tournaments, along with the biggest upsets, buzzer beaters. Like, let's take a look at biggest upsets. Obviously, there was one last year when Fairleigh Dickinson knocked off Purdue in the first round, and we all remember that one in 2018 when University of Maryland, Baltimore County knocked off Virginia, and they proceeded to win the national championship a year later. Oh, and both those were in the round of 64, as were these other ones in the round of 64. Over here on this line here, this was from the regional semifinal from a year ago when Purdue was knocked off by St. Peter's. And these were on this, and this one here was in the second round when Rhode Island knocked off Kansas. Valpo over Ole Miss in '98, thanks to Bryce Drew. And the list goes on. It goes on like that. Those are just the top 50, and then here we have point differentials. That is just a spoonful of what you can get on college basketball. That SREC, that stands for Sports Reference, because it's written that way because this is the main site is Pro Sports Reference, and these are not professionals yet. They hadn't graduated yet. So what I like about this is I could look at the college football and basketball and see how they fared in those times, and I can do that for the games that I write. Anyway, you can actually do that if you want to look at the site. Go to let me bring up the site here. Let me move my thing here. It is actually sportsreference.com, and then you can get all that right at your fingertips. You don't have to pay for that. There is a fee for the other one, or for the Stathead, and it starts monthly, but the first month is actually absolutely free, and then you can move on to annually if you don't want that. But I think you would have to, if you move on to yearly and annually during a trial, you would it would charge you for the whole year right off the bat because you're not paying for a full month, you're paying for a full year. And it but it's in the amount of 10 months. So it's like getting 2 months off anyway. Anyway, that's the site that I use. Thanks for being with me. I will see you later on. And by the way, you can check out my site that I have. It's on my channel. It's Simbuzz at youtube.com. And you can like and subscribe to that channel. And I will be posting within the next couple of days. I will see you guys later.